Hello everyone and namaste. I guess I'm live, I'm not sure. If you're able to hear me, just drop a line. Just for me to know that everything is fine. Okay, I see people joining. Hello everyone. I see some familiar names, some new names. It's wonderful. Hi Kruti, how are you? Mrunal, hi. Anuja, hi. It's very different to, see regular students waving at me online. Although I would say not so different now because we are all online all the time. All right, so it's wonderful. There are quite a few people already as a part of the chat. Thank you, Madhura. Thanks for confirming you can hear me well. So, friends, as you all know, SISK is launching a new distance learning program, which is starting in the first week of January. And from the email feedback that we are getting, we thought that it's better to do a live and answer commonly asked questions. It's better for everybody to kind of develop an understanding about what this program is going to be, how unique it is going to be, how practical and feasible it's going to be, especially in the light of so many online programs that are being offered now. So I'm just going to take a moment and open a list of questions that my dear Vaishakhi SISK admin has compiled for me to include in today's session. Of course, I would like to direct this session more to your questions, So feel free to send questions as and when in the course of our conversation. Let me see. There you go. So we announced DLP. I'm going to call it DLP moving on forward because that's how we just make it convenient for ourselves, isn't it? Just, a short form. So I think we announced the program in the first week of December, not very long ago, just about 2 weeks, or maybe end of November. And in a short span, we were flooded with emails, literally flooded. And of course, it's a nice feeling, but you also have that sense of responsibility, right? When you get such a wonderful response. And you have to cater to each one's needs and all that. So let's start from the absolute root of the idea. So why distance learning program? So honestly speaking, I was almost ready to launch this program early this year, before actually COVID happened and before we all went into a lockdown. So in January this year, I was brainstorming and almost ready to launch the program, where there would be, modules of Kathak, or I would say online classes delivered to the students, and then they would get to interact with me from time to time. And then COVID happened, and we were just kind of, struggling to get to terms with the new normal and all that. But I think it was also a better timing to launch it now, because we have developed such an acceptance for online learning now. So I don't have to kind of sell the idea to the people or convince them that online learning is absolutely possible. So that's one good thing, one silver lining that I see here. So distance learning program is going to be not very different than the online classes that I normally teach. But they are going to be pre-recorded, these classes. And they are going to be delivered to the students, one class every week. Each class will have a duration of about 50 to 60 minutes. The class will not just be a new content or a new piece to be learned in every class, but The class will also have practice session involved in it, because especially the students, when they practice with the guru doing padhant, it's very different rather than when we practice on our own, isn't it? So there's going to be practice and then a little bit of new learning involved in every session. And I'll continue to deliver such 7 sessions, and after that, the 8th session, every 8th session of DLP is going to be a Zoom class, which will be personally conducted by me. And in the Zoom class, we are calling it a Nuance class, and rightfully so, because corrections in whatever you've learned and then learning how to practice it is very important. So acquiring knowledge is important, but to retain it is more important and more difficult. So that's why I think this Zoom class is immensely going to help DLP students to learn how to practice and to get the nuances corrected from me. Smaller things, haath idhar gaya hai, idhar lao, turn your head more to look at the hand, or how to angle your body, how to position your upper body, all those small things. So I'm going to pay attention to that. So DLP students do not miss out on the personal rapport, because that is very important. This is not something like artificial intelligence or machine learning. It is not coded. This is an art form which needs to be passed down from one person to the other with utmost intensity and utmost concentration. So I have developed a technique where all this will be retained and none of this will be compromised. And I will deliver the modules in such a way. So these links are obviously going to be like private links which cannot be downloaded by anyone else, or just to prevent the malpractices that can be involved in such programs. So we are going to do our best to do that. Friends, whenever you have a question, please feel free to send your questions. I'll just take pauses in between and I'll take up your questions, all right? Again, I see so many people joining in, 60 plus. That's a wonderful number. Hey Rachit, thank you so much for joining. Vaishakhi, thanks for joining. This live session would not have been so flawless without you. You are the backbone of this program, handling the back end for me. Hi Mittal, hi Sakshi, hey Teju, hi, thanks for joining. It's so wonderful. Now this has almost converted into a chat. Manisha Tai is here. Ai namaskar. I seek your blessings as I step out into this new venture. Madhuri, hi. Oh my God, so many friends, so many Guru Bahens, and so many followers. I am overwhelmed. Khalil, hi. How are you doing? Okay, so moving on to the main topic. So at present, we are launching just the beginner level of this program. A variety of applicants are seen. There are people who haven't tried Kathak ever before, so complete newbies. And there are people who have learned little bit but who are seeking for an opportunity to come under my wings. And there are people who are almost at a pre-professional level but who would like to learn my style. So there's a great variety of applications that we are getting. Bottom line, we are just starting the beginner level course at this time. In the course of time, as and when, I'll move on to introduce intermediate and advanced level courses. But honestly, I'm that kind of a person who doesn't like to start everything in one go. I like to pace it out. I like to take my time with it so that it doesn't jumble up. I think there should be a nice progression to whatever we do. So I'm just following that and starting the beginner level course now. So this course is available for anyone who is 18 years or above. men and women both. So no gender restriction there. Why 18 years and above? I'm getting so many emails saying that my daughter is 5 years old, my daughter is 10, I am 14, I want to learn. At this point, I don't think I'm ready to cater to kids, especially because teaching kids is an altogether different ball game. I don't believe that adults and children can be taught the same content in the same way. So at this time, we are starting at minimum age of 18, but there is no upper limit. Okay. So if you are 50 and if Kathak has been your passion all this time, all these years, this is your time to step into it and then never leave it for the rest of your life. So that answers, Ayushi, your question. There is no upper age limit for the course, but there is a lower age limit of 18 years. So there are people who are writing to us saying that I have never danced in my life, but I love watching dance. So is this going to be good for me? So trust me, this is going to be good for you, especially for two reasons. So if you're an adult, in all probability, you're going to be working, you're going to be looking after your family, and it would obviously keep you very busy. So rather than sticking to a particular timing for class every single week, this class is going to be delivered to you, and you have to spare 1 hour at a stretch and learn it on your own. I'm going to be teaching it just the way I teach my Zoom classes, 100% in detail and focusing on all small things that come along. So you're going to be able to learn this from home, but there is going to be a list of things to follow, like, what kind of floor, what kind of outfit, what kind of mindset even. Because when you learn a classical art, trust me, you need to also develop a mindset to benefit the most from it. So I'm going to take care of all that and kind of walk you into it, do a lot of hand holding, because trust me, you need it at beginner level. So that's going to be about it. Don't shy away because you haven't tried it ever before. Just, hold my hand and start the journey. There was, one or two questions here, which I'm going to take up. In the meantime, Gargi Namaskar, Sheetal Namaskar. Sheetal is asking that, she's saying that she's 42 and she's learning a bit online from someone. So is she eligible? So Sheetal, yes, it makes you eligible. It's just that you have to be ready to learn the basics that we follow in our Banaras Gharana style of teaching, I would say. But trust me, if you don't cut shortcuts at this time, it's going to definitely benefit you in the future, because, a foundation, if well laid out, strong and solid, you can build tall buildings on it. So it's always better to, spend time to get your foundation in place and then fly high. So yes, you are eligible. Just go back to the flyer that I have posted on my Insta and send us an email. Hello, Sanjana. Okay, Sanjana, great, good question. So, will DLP students be able to give exams through Bharati Vidyapeeth or Gandharva? It's a very good question. So, since last 10 years, SISK follows certification by Bharati Vidyapeeth University in Pune, and it is offered all over the world. So Bharati Vidyapeeth has centers, 10 centers in North America, USA and Canada, and then it has certification available, centers running in Bahrain and, oh my god, I'm so sorry for that. So centers running in Bahrain and Dubai and Germany even, and we are expanding every month. So DLP students will also get a chance to appear for Bharati Vidyapeeth exams. In the course of time, if we get back to, and I hope we do, if we get back to our normal in-person routine, then they can either find a center which is closer to them, or there are a lot of logistics that are, there are a lot of options that are available, and you can pick one of them. But it is going to be Bharati Vidyapeeth University curriculum, which is very similar to Gandhar, but Bharati Vidyapeeth offers a lot of flexibility in terms of applying for the exam. The entire process is online, starting from filling up the form to the final payment that you have to make. Everything is online. So that really makes it easy for the student as well as for the teachers. So that's that. Thank you, Gargi, for your kind words. Yes, I'm really looking forward to the success of this program. Sukanya, hi, it's wonderful to reconnect with you. And Sukanya, I have already received your application amongst many others, and I'm really glad that this wonderful ex-student of mine, who's an accomplished architect now, but has been a part of SISK when she was little. She has also participated in the kids programs that we presented, I think, in early 2000 or late 90s, and such a wonderful girl. So she's planning to come back to Kathak and start again. Hi Mrudula, namaskar. Okay, so I have a follow-up question here, which is very interesting. So Cheti asks, Tai, I have given third year exam of Akhil Bharatiya, but had to leave. Sorry, it's a bit... can I join? Okay, so what I infer from your question, Cheti, is that you've learned for a few years in the past and then you've taken a break. So if you want to join now, the decision is up to you. If you think that you've forgotten most of your Kathak that you learned in the past, it's better to start again from the bottom, from the beginning. If you think that you have retained whatever you learned earlier, then keep practicing on your own and wait for the intermediate course to start. Although at this point, I really don't know. I cannot promise anything about the intermediate and advanced levels. But I also want to take up one thing from Cheti's question. If you have given earlier exams from Gandharv Mahavidyalaya, Bharati Vidyapeeth lets you take the next level exam. Because both the curriculums are quite parallel to each other, I would say, and the levels match. So the senior gurus who have curated Gandharv syllabus have curated Bharati Vidyapeeth syllabus as well. So there's quite a similarity in them. So any of you, if you have taken Gandharv exams in the past and if you want to switch to Bharati Vidyapeeth for any reason, you can definitely do so without repeating any exam. And that's a big plus, I think. So Janvi, you have a question about a few years of experience in Kathak, and I think I covered it in my answer just now. So Sanjana, I said it some time ago, but I'll repeat it again. This course that SISK is launching now is only for beginner level students, and in the course of time, maybe later in 2021, we may come up with such courses for intermediate and advanced level students. One thing I want to emphasize over here, because that's a question that I'm getting the most: what is the duration of the course? Okay, so I want to say this loudly and clearly, that this is an ongoing course. Like any Indian classical art form, there's a beginning, but there's never an end. So you start the course and then it becomes a part of your life for the rest of your life. And trust me, it's a wonderful journey together. And I've seen lives change due to dance, and it's wonderful. So this is an ongoing course. It's a serious commitment, but I promise you every bit of it will be worth it. Hello Hitesh, thanks for joining. I'm going to take up some more questions from the list that I have. Okay, so I'm not really going to talk about money right now. I think you may want to send an email to us and know more about how this program is priced and all that. Because see, a price tag in such cases, in the cases of art, a price tag is never a price tag, just a price tag. There's a lot which comes along with it, and a lot of perks that accompany the price that you are actually paying for the class. But to kind of put it in a nutshell, I think when I pay, see, I am a serious music student. Okay, I train under my guru Anupama Chandratrayaji here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I train one-on-one with her, and her charges are even quite high. So when I pay for my music classes, I don't calculate it, in such a way that I'm calculating how many dollars per hour or something like that. I look at it as a complete experience and everything that it brings to my life. And I also look at it as what all other things will I be able to do or buy in that amount that I spend towards my music every month. And the answer is that I cannot buy much in that much money. And that actually tells me that it's worth spending that much amount on my music, because A, I'm gaining knowledge, B, I'm respecting my Guruji's time and knowledge, and C, I'm getting abundant happiness and renewed energy from my every class that I apply in all walks of my life. So I think that kind of explains the perspective of a student towards this, this transaction that is involved in the learning process. Okay. Oh, Janvi, interesting question. So Janvi is asking if there's any scope for private or semi-private lessons with you. So the way DLP is structured, every lesson is a private lesson, right? Because you'll be playing the lesson on your computer and you are going to be learning personally from me. So it is a private lesson with all the rapport in the world that can be in between a student and a teacher. That's again a very nice question. Kaleidoscopic Life. Oh, that's a nice name, handle name. Can someone who has learned another gharana join this program? So if you have learned, for example, Lucknow or Jaipur gharana for like 2-3 years, it doesn't matter much, because I think until first 7-8 years of training, gharana is just a label and no one is actually getting inside the gharana and learning the nitty-gritties. It's just a label. So if you are in that group where you've learned for a year or 2 or 3 years, do start this program, because you think that you learned another gharana, but you really don't inculcate so much inside that stays with you all the time, all your life, and then it kind of creates an hindrance in learning another gharana. It's not like that. Okay, that also answers Manasi Deshpande's question. I'm glad. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly run through the list of questions that I have from the emails. Okay. Okay, that's a very good question. Oh my God, I can't wait to answer this one. So one person sent us an email asking how do we know, how will we know what we are doing is right or wrong? That's a brilliant question, I think. So, the answer is that a lot of times you don't know if you are doing is right or wrong. That's why you need a guru in front of you to correct your movements, to correct nuances. And that's the reason why we have every 8th class as nuance class. That's exactly the reason, because I want to make sure that DLP students are dancing in front of my eyes. I'm able to check their movements one by one and offer them corrections. And they will, I'll make sure that they implement the corrections right there in the class and go home with a clear mind. Why am I saying go home? Everybody's home. Oh my God. Old habits die hard. So that's what it's going to be. And that's why the 8th nuance class on Zoom is going to be very important. We have some more questions here. Could you please brief about the syllabus? I've learned from Pali Chandra online YouTube channel. Okay, so Ayushi, thanks for showing interest. Pali Chandra's YouTube channel is wonderful, and it has helped hundreds or thousands of youngsters to get a peek into Kathak. I would say it's a better idea to visit Bharati Vidyapeeth website. So let me just check the URL quickly. Okay, so the website is SPA, as in School of Performing Arts, spa.bharatividyapeeth.edu. That's the website, and it has the syllabus there. So check it out. It's very similar to Gandharva or Prayag in some ways. Okay, Janvi, if you are asking outside of DLP for semi-private or private lessons, unfortunately, I do not do them very easily. I have a few professional level performers and teachers who train with me one-on-one. Other than that, I really don't train students one-on-one because unfortunately, I don't have that kind of time with me. So Janvi, you have another question, which again is a very important question. So how many students will be in a Zoom nuance class? So the cutoff for every DLP class is going to be around 20 or 22 students, not more than that, because again, keeping the same thing in mind, that I should be able to handle a nuance class, Zoom class, and be able to make corrections in that class. So having 50 people in a nuance class, it doesn't serve the purpose, because then it's not going to be very different than the online lessons that I'll be offering. So we are going to keep the number just enough so that I can pay attention to every single student in that class. Tani, I'm not sure. I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. She lives in UK and she wants to give dance exams. So how can we dance exams abroad? So there are several Bharati Vidyapeeth centers that work across the world. Try to access the website spa.bharatividyapeeth.edu and just check it out. And if you can't find it, or if you have any confusion, send a question to me by email. I'll make sure that you get your answer. Hanumanta Phadtare, oh my God, my Guru Bhai, Suresh, our Guruji, Sureshji's student. Hello Hanumant, thanks for joining. Okay, moving on to the next question before we wrap up the live in 5 minutes. Okay, oh my God, I hate to take up this question, but since it comes up every now and then, so I'm going to take it up. Do you teach semi-classical or choreography on a song? No, I don't. And I don't think anyone should, unless you are trained in Kathak and you've reached a level where you can handle choreographies on bandishes. I'm not saying songs. At SISK, we do not teach Kathak on Bollywood songs. We do not teach Kathak on folk songs, and we do not teach anything that is actually not Kathak but is being called Kathak. But we do train our students to accomplish the classical Kathak and thereby enrich themselves. So there is Archie, I think, and she is currently training at SISK India under Tejaswini and our SISK India teachers team. She has moved to a different state and does not have any classes where I can continue her practice. Why don't you join the DLP then? Send me an email and I can guide you. I think it will be useful for you. Send an email. Okay, so Ankita Karandikar, a very practical question. How different time zones are going to work in DLP program? So first 7 classes, it won't matter because they are self-learning asynchronous modules. 8th class is going to be in such a way that it's going to be over the weekends basically, 8th class, so that your work schedule does not get disturbed. And it's going to be on Sunday mornings about 7:30 or 8 a.m. for those who are in the Pacific time zone. That will be Sunday night for students from India, and Saturday evening for students from Europe. So as I'm getting inquiries right now, the students who have already registered, already signed up for the course, they include they come from locations in USA all over, Germany, Saudi Arabia and India. So but we are getting constant inquiries from South Africa, from France, Netherlands, UK and Australia and other parts of the Middle Eastern countries. So we will come to mid-landing where everybody can spend 1 hour of their weekend in the Nuance class, and of course it's going to be just once in 2 months. So I don't think scheduling is a big problem. But yes, Ankita, thanks for bringing this up. So Rutuja, to answer your question, DLP will be available for intermediate and senior level students, but not at this time. I'm going to start beginner level now and make sure it runs smoothly before I venture out into the other levels. Okay, one very important thing to talk about here. If you are learning with a guru currently, do not join DLP program unless you can stop your training with the previous guru. Okay, I hate to say this. Actually, I should say that just continue with your present guru. But there are several reasons why you want to discontinue, you want to change gharanas, you want to change teachers, which is understandable. So you cannot train under 2 gurus at a time. Okay. So if you are planning to join DLP, you have to stop your training with anybody else in the field of Kathak. I sometimes I sometimes come out as too straightforward, but I think I'm just trying to get the point across here. Last 2 questions. Okay, so there's one newbie who's asking, what are we going to learn in this program? Which is absolutely fair, I think, because when you are new to a dance form, you don't know what are the contents, what makes it what it is. So in Kathak, there are a lot of rhythmic compositions to learn, which have beautiful combinations of hand movements, bodily movements, and footwork. And then moving forward, there are also beautiful abhinaya pieces where emotions are rendered and where stories are told. So there's a big learning ahead, and students joining now are kind of setting themselves on this wonderful journey. The program is ongoing. This is a ongoing program. It doesn't end after whatever, 2 years, 2 weeks even. I just saw one program announcement, online program announcement, where the beginner level course was structured for it to go on for 3 months, and I really don't think you can achieve anything in 3 months, but give yourself a couple of years. On this note, I want to say that I always tell my beginner level students that after you join the class, give yourself 1 full year to understand if you are able to manage it or not. Don't give up in between, because it's too soon. You're still figuring out, and don't say too soon that, oh, this is not my cup of tea, or oh, this is that. No, give yourself 1 full year before you decide that, I want to quit. Sounds good. So that's about it, everyone. Thanks for this amazing response throughout the live. I'll post this chat on my handle so that you're able to go back to it and find answers if you've missed any part of this. Again, thank you so much, you all. And I'm going to sign out. Bye-bye.